If you trade gold ETFs, do you really know what you're buying? Or have you bought into the illusion? Click the link to find out.
In the pre-dawn hours, the NYPD is taking an aggressive stance. They say to get bad guys off the streets. And Pix 11 News is there. Dozens of officers surrounded this apartment where alleged gang members live. They're accused of terrorizing NYCHA residents in the Astoria and Woodside houses. Within minutes, Dejan Price is taken out in handcuffs. Cops say Price and 22 others are part of two rival gangs at war over turf and power. In surveillance video obtained by Pix 11 News, you can see them shooting at each other and innocent bystanders running for cover. This all happened in the hot summer months, with children trying to buy ice cream. They too were dodging bullets.
We're not going to tolerate the violence. The streets belong to the community. They deserve to walk in the streets. They deserve to get ice cream. They deserve to be in the playground. They deserve to be in the park benches without having to deal with violence.
In order to understand this police crackdown, we have to rewind a bit. This investigation started about 2 years ago, on March 12, 2021. Surveillance video shows 3 teens shooting at each other, but missing their targets. According to police, one of their bullets hit and killed an innocent bystander, 37-year-old Godelia Valines. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to buy a gallon of milk. She was a wife and a mother of 2 young children. Charles G. lives near Woodside houses and remembers the day Valines died.
I saw the posters hanging up, and I was thinking to myself, well, these kids, they were expecting their mother to come home, and now she's never coming home.
Her death motivated police to take a closer look at the violence happening in her Queens neighborhood.
We discovered multiple layers of investigation just going back a few years, 3 or 4 year investigation about these 2 crews.
While trying to find Valines' killer, detectives say they discovered what was driving up the gun violence in the Woodside and Astoria houses. So they zeroed in on these 2 alleged gang crews, watching and tracking their movements, all while building a case. The suspects would apparently brag about their actions on social media and in drill rap music. This operation comes while the department is mourning the shooting death of one of their own, Officer Adid Fayaz. The chief of the unit even thought about postponing it.
I was struggling with it a little bit, where I'm kind of going back and forth, where you come to a crossroads, you're like, should we even go on?
But taking into account the oath they took and the way Fayaz lives his life,
we have to do this for Adid. So this takedown is in honor of Adid. And if everybody could just have a moment of silence for him and his family.
Before sunrise, detectives in partnership with the Queens District Attorney's Office hit multiple locations. In all, detectives arrested 8 people in this raid. Overall, at least 16 out of the 23 suspects are in custody, and police recovered at least 12 guns. Police say with every raid, they see immediate change. In this case, they attribute a 30% drop in gun violence with the arrest of these men. All of the suspects face serious charges, including conspiracy, reckless endangerment, gun possession, just to name a few. In Woodside, Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.
I got into healthcare initially because I knew I wanted to help people. I had already been to school, but I was interested in leadership roles. In order to get one of these leadership roles, I needed a bachelor's degree. Getting my bachelor's of science in nursing immediately opened doors. There were positions that I immediately qualified for. I was able to advance in my career. I immediately obtained a leadership position. To be a nurse leader and empower other nurses to do great work is a dream come true.
become a tech professional? Most coding boot camps have high dropout rates and don't guarantee anything. Join the flexible part-time boot camp with high completion rates and a get hired guarantee. Practicum built a friendly learning experience that fills your portfolio with projects and gets you hired after graduation. You'll get one-on-one help with interviews, resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profile, GitHub portfolio. We'll even search for and filter jobs for you. It works. 89% of our software engineering grads got good jobs within 6 months. Everyone else got 100% of their money back. Choose the bootcamp that works. Join Practicum.
Mass shooting foiled. High-powered rifles, shotguns, handguns, and a large cache of ammunition. Health authorities are saying a mass shooting was averted in one of the country's biggest cities. Spy balloon. U.S. officials confirm China has a giant spy balloon surveilling the U.S. in none other than Montana. A device the size of 3 buses. How the government is responding and what, if any, international laws may have been broken. Arctic blast, a brutal and dramatic temperature drop, could be the coldest felt in years. The latest on the powerful cold front hitting large parts of the country, with some areas expecting wind chills that could be as low as 65 degrees below. Plus, kicked off the dramatic escalation on Capitol Hill after Republicans voted to oust Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from a top committee. We'll speak to one of the Congresswoman's Democratic colleagues for reaction and how her party expects to respond. And stolen orphans in our Prime Original tonight. They go deep into the untold story of the children of Ukraine, taken and transported into Russia after troops took the entire orphanage. We speak with one expecting parent who says she was traumatized over the fate of her adopted daughter and fought to get her back.
At that point, I was really starting to feel very hopeless. So just like if they're really captured by the Russians, it's like the chance never to see her again.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're following all of that and much more, including the shocking killing of a New Jersey councilwoman and the desperate search for her killer, plus the strange theft of 12 monkeys from a zoo. At first, it might seem like a scene out of a spy movie, but tonight the Pentagon has confirmed a Chinese spy balloon the size of 3 buses was spotted in American skies. It happened right over the state of Montana, and air traffic was actually grounded in and around Billings briefly on Wednesday. Late today, senior defense officials confirmed this isn't the first time a balloon like this has been spotted over the U.S., but this time they're saying there is one key difference. We're also learning President Biden was briefed on the incident and even asked for military options. So what was he advised to do? And how much of a possible threat is this balloon? We've got you covered. ABC News Live anchor Terry Moran leads us off tonight from Washington.
I really needed a new roof for my home. Peter Roofing got me that roof. And the best thing is, I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. When I heard that I could get a new roof with no money down, instead of spending $15,000, I thought I better look into this program.
Does your roof need to be replaced? New York programs will pay for your roof completely. Yes, this is real. Give me 60 seconds and we will break down in this quick video. For years, over 500,000 homeowners have been getting energy-efficient tax breaks and even cash payouts. This is no different. New York homeowners are able to get a brand new solar system and complete re-roof at no cost through these programs. This is done by cashing in on subsidies and credits up front. The only thing you need to do is listen to the rest of this video, take the simple roofing quiz by clicking the button right here, new roof, new solar, replacing your current electric bill with a payment that is cheaper, and by the way, you own it. A new solar system and a brand new roof. This is something you can't afford to miss. Replace that aging roof over your head right now. Space in this program is extremely limited. Before filming this video, we had around 30 slots left. So make sure to complete the...
Tonight, a senior defense official says authorities are tracking a giant Chinese spy balloon that has been hovering over the northern U.S. for several days.
The United States government has detected and is tracking a high-altitude surveillance balloon that is over the continental United States right now.
Sources tell ABC News the unmanned high-altitude balloon is the size of 3 buses with a technology bay underneath. Officials said President Biden asked for military options, but decided to follow the recommendation of senior military leaders not to shoot the balloon down due to safety risks for people on the ground. That balloon spotted over Montana, forcing a temporary ground stop Wednesday at the airport in Billings. That ground stop covering a 50-mile radius. No flights, including commercial air traffic, were allowed to land or take off for at least an hour. Montana is home to several sensitive nuclear weapon sites. The U.S. moved quickly to shield them.
Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information.
Really seems like something out of a movie. Terry Moran joins us now from the White House. Terry, we know the Pentagon briefed reporters on this late today. What are officials saying about the suspected Chinese spy balloon tonight?
Well, Lindsay, they are saying that they are convinced this spy balloon does not pose any threat to civilians and that it does not pose a significant intelligence risk. They also, it's not the first time that a handful of times over several years, dating back into previous administrations, they have seen balloons like this float over the United States. However, they do say they have communicated their concerns to China.
All right, Terry Moran from the White House. Thanks so much, Terry. For more, let's bring in former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense and ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy. Thanks so much for joining us, Mick. Tensions, of course, are on the rise between the U.S. and China. What concerns you most about this balloon?
So, Lindsay, I think what concerns me most is what's been reported that this balloon has the capability and is staying longer than it usually does over areas that we would consider very sensitive. I'm actually in Montana. I live here. As Terry reported, there are intercontinental ballistic missiles, the Minuteman III, that have silos right here in the United States. It's also been reported that these balloons have the ability to steer themselves, to go into the wind, and therefore longer in areas. So that is somewhat concerning.
Why Montana, do you think?
I think it's most likely because of those Minuteman III silos that are here in Montana, and perhaps they're trying to observe them more closely for intelligence collection purposes. But as has been reported, the administration acted quickly and moved to shield what I think was likely those and other key sensitive facilities in the northwest of the United States.
So is the intent primarily to be able to take pictures of the ground?
So I don't know what type of sensitive collection devices are on this. It may also include what's called SIGINT, or signals intelligence, that they could potentially gather from key sites that we don't want them to. But also, absolutely, you're right. It would be imagery. It may be higher resolution because of the lower altitude that these stratospheric balloons linger in as compared to spy satellites.
The U.S. could have intervened here militarily, but it has so far elected not to take this balloon down. Why not?
You were right. They did scramble the Raptor F-22 and other aircraft. They could have easily shot these very slow-moving, undefended balloons down. But I believe they did not because of the potential for damage on the ground, and also because, quite frankly, they can collect most of this information via satellite. Some would say that this is likely to send a message. Secretary Austin's been in the Philippines, looking to move 4 new bases there, which China obviously does not like, and of course Secretary Blinken will be traveling to China. So this may be an attempt to send a message to the United States by China.
What kind of message?
One, that they're watching us, and that they can look at our most sensitive sites. They probably knew that this was reported. We have an open press in the United States, and they want the Americans to see that they do have the capabilities to put sensitive military collection devices like these over the United States.
So potentially a muscle flex here by China. Do you expect the U.S. to do anything to retaliate?
I don't think so. I mean, there's certainly things we could do. We have collection capabilities that far exceed the Chinese. We although we do test balloon intelligence collection systems. I don't think that they're necessary. The United States is moving to shore up our allies in the Indo-Pacific region to include the Philippines and Japan, something that China does not like. And so I think if we do anything, it would just be continue on and perhaps double down on our military presence in this area.
ABC News contributor Nick Mulder, thank you so much for your time and insight.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Now a potential mass shooting flirted by Los Angeles police. They were called to an apartment about a man making serious threats. Inside, they say they found multiple weapons and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman has those details.
Tonight, a potential mass shooting plot in the heart of Hollywood. The LAPD uncovering this arsenal in a high-rise, saying the rifles were loaded by window. I believe that something's happening here. Certainly affirmative. Officers responding to this building with the famed Sunset Boulevard around 10 a.m. Tuesday after police say they got a call about a man threatening residents and security, possibly having a mental health breakdown. Authorities identifying the suspect as 24-year-old Braxton Kyle Johnson. He spent 4 years in the Army infantry, officers getting a search warrant and then serving it with Johnson himself. Authorities say they found inside the 18th floor apartment chilling.
So when they first went into the apartment in plain view, they observed 3 rifles and a shotgun laid out on the floor.
As if prepared for something.
Yes.
At least some of the weapons neither registered nor legal in the state of California. Also in that arsenal, police say high-powered scopes with new range targets hundreds of yards away, including the street below and a dog park.
Matt Gutman joins us now from Los Angeles. Matt, what else are police telling you about the suspect in this investigation?
Lizzie, the LAPD tells me that the suspect had just recently moved into that building. Now, they're working on tracing his firearm. They're also looking into possible previous arrests in other states. Now, they found no manifesto. They say no writings to indicate his intent. But just moments ago, his first appearance, the suspect pleading not guilty. He's now being held on a $1 million bond.
Potential tragedy averted there. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you. Tonight, roughly 60 million Americans are in the path of some bone-chilling and life-threatening cold temperatures as low as 60 below in some places. 18 states are on high alert tonight. Our senior meteorologist Rob Marciano reports.
Tonight, the sound of heavy equipment and chainsaws piercing the air north of Austin. The race to clean up a tangled mess of ice-covered trees and power lines. Limbs snapping after days of ice and sleet.
We are experiencing one of the most widespread ice storms to hit Austin, and certainly one of the worst.
Hundreds of thousands in the dark across the storm zone. Our Alex Boucher, south of Little Rock, Arkansas, with crews restoring power and facing multiple challenges.
Slick roads, the terrain, tree limbs falling out of trees.
As the system pushes east, it's pulling down the coldest air of the season so far. Boston declaring a cold emergency, closing schools and opening warming centers.
By sunset tomorrow, it is down into the single digits, and the wind is going to be howling.
That wind will make it feel like more than 50 below in spots. New Hampshire's governor reminds families need to take this seriously.
At negative 30 degrees, hypothermia can set in just 10 minutes. We know it's going to be even colder than that across the entire state.
Just downright frigid. Rob joins us now. Hey, Rob, the low temperatures that we might see in some places are truly eye-popping and dangerous. I mean, minus 60 in parts of the day.
Yeah, that would be an all-time record low wind chill for Caribou, Maine. This is indeed life-threatening stuff that's right now over Quebec and Ontario, but the leading edge of it is about to cross the border. You see it here on the map, and it'll drive south of the I-95 corridor for tomorrow. It's kind of being dragged along by the heavy rain, that wave along the southeast. That's what brought that icing to parts of Texas and the mid-south. That front is pushing on into the Atlantic, and it's pulling this cold air down just a little bit. There'll be some snowfall overnight tonight, maybe an inch of dusting, but you see that red blob up there in northern Maine. That is a blizzard warning, not for how cold we will do it. That will be blowing. You get sub-zero temperatures. The snow that's already on the ground turns into a fine dust. And then we start this really crude Saturday. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at widespread cold, minus 10 in Albany, below zero in places like Chicago and Omaha. Saturday morning, tomorrow night is a Saturday Monday morning, that's where the really potentially deadly cold comes in. Minus 62 is the forecast for Winchell and Caribou. That was an all-time record. Look at Concord, minus 42, minus 34 in Boston, and 30 below in Burlington. That sort of temperature is to exposed skin will give you frostbite in less than 10 minutes. So, I mean, if you have to go outside, cover up, but obviously you can on a Saturday. Stay inside.
Yes, stay home if you can. Frostbite in 10 minutes. Rob Marciano, thanks to you as always. Today, House Republicans ousted Democrat Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee, citing repeated anti-Semitic and anti-American remarks through the Congresswoman has apologized. Omar spoke before the vote next to a photo of her as a 9-year-old, saying, "I'm a Muslim, I'm an immigrant," and interestingly,